It once happened. It happened. Shankaran Pillai was having a conversation with his wife. Don't tell anybody, this is between husband and wife, okay? And Shankaran Pillai asked, this is a spiritual conversation, asked, what is reincarnation? The wife was bored with this kind of conversation, she was doing some little embroidery. Then she said, reincarnation means you will come back in a completely different way than the way you are right now. Then Shankaran Pillai thought about it and said, does it mean to say, in my next life I can come back as a pig? Wife said, you are not listening to me properly, I said you will come back in a completely different way. So this is why, because 70% of the people are more capable of their emotions, hitting either peak or depths. Emotional depths and emotional peaks people know, but intellectual peaks, very few people know. I'm not saying one is better than the other, there are different kinds of tools. See, if you are a screw, we need a screwdriver. If you're a nut, we need a spanner. If you're a pipe, we need a winch. Like this, tools. Don't make it one above the other. Right now, because of the type of schooling that you're going through, everybody has this wrong image. Being intellectually sharp is better than being emotionally, embracing. No, it's not like that. Everything has its own beauty and all of them have the same level of possibility. Only problem is how you will use the tool, that's all. Just by building your body and using your action, you can do it. Or by raising your energies, you can do it, but needs work. You're saying, keeping… even though there is a lockdown, all of you, most of you not going to work for nearly 3 months. I told you at least you must be 10% more fit than the way you were 3 months ago. 10% Sadhguru? 3 months! You should have said, Sadhguru, why 10%? I will be 100% better than the way I am today. 90 days, no work. I can exercise 5 times a day if I want. Could have been done because we've been very busy in the lockdown being here. But otherwise, you're locked in an apartment, what are you doing? What are you doing? Maybe couch, television. As the show gets more and more interesting. In the children's yoga programs, to inspire the children, one fundamental principle that we teach them is, I complete what I start. So one day, because A1 potato chips in Coimbatore city was available on discount, fearing that during the lockdown they may not be able to sell, they started selling 5 kg packets instead of 1 kg. Discount. Everything is on discount, even inner engineering on discount, No. There are people here who will get very insulted, potato chips, inner engineering, everything on discount. So such a big bag of potato chips, And in his… see, Shankaran Pillai is still not enrolled for in engineering, but he had done the children's program. His wife looked at this sack of potato chips and she said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I complete what I start." So I'm saying everything, just everything can be subverted. Everything, you can turn it against yourself. We give you a brain, that becomes your problem. And if I say, no, you can conduct your brain the way you want it, the whole bunch of people, they're a depression company. They've been picking on me, why can't I pick on them? They're saying, he doesn't know what is depression. Depression happens, nobody chooses. Chemical changes happen. Arey, that is what even I'm saying. Do some yoga, chemical changes will happen. What else do you think I'm saying? A certain group of scientists and doctors in United States, from Indiana University, some from Harvard University, Rutgers and Florida, they studied people who've been practicing inner engineering for 90 days. That is, what is that? Oh, monkeys. See, the teaching is getting popular. They also believe they could be evolved like you. Hey, how many of you came that way? No, it's good for me that we transformed monkeys into human beings. It's a very good, because I want to tell you that the genetic tendencies are changing simply with the inner engineering practices. So they recorded all these things, the biomarkers and everything. I will put it as briefly as… it's an elaborate paper running into hundreds of pages. But to put it very simply, one thing that determines the nature of your experience and your mental and emotional condition is what is called as BDNF, that is, brain-derived neurotropic factors. So the BDNF is higher in a positive way, threefold, 300% in 90 days. I can imagine how you guys were before you started. Threefold increase, that means keeping your emotions in balance, keeping in a good state of experience and sharpness of mind and pleasantness of experience shouldn't even be a problem, 300% increase. There is another dimension. You know what is a cannabinoid? So, a cannabinoid means like today what is popularly in India, it is known as ganja, or everywhere else it's known as marijuana. In different places it's known by different names. But essentially, these are plant extracts which have a certain influence on the mood and experience of the person. But there are millions of cannabis receptors both in your brain and across the body. Because you are supposed to produce it, you are not supposed to smoke it. So now, with the inner engineering practices, it's clearly… the biomarkers clearly establish that your endocannabinoid production is significantly higher. That means you are stoned by yourself. You don't need any outside help. But the impact of the endocannabinoids compared to the cannabinoids that come from outside are very, very different. It makes you intoxicated and super alert at the same time, because along with it, certain other secretions happen. And the 230 genes which are fundamentally responsible for your immune system are also highly enhanced with 90 days of practice. Okay? So when this medical reports were given to some media, anchor on the national television channel asked me, Sadhguru, if everybody gets stoned like this with your yoga, who will do the work? So, that is the big difference. What is an endocannabinoid and what cannabis that you put from outside are very different. This question is coming because, see, it's never happened, never ever happened. Somebody who's blissed out from within ever jumped off a mountain thinking he will fly or something. But this repeatedly happened when people were using LSD. So many people jumped off windows from high-rise buildings thinking they will fly because they were feeling like flying. Because there is a difference between a living experience and a hallucination of flying. When you hallucinate that you're flying, you think you can actually jump off and fly. But when you're experiencing that kind of buoyancy within you, but you are very clear-headed, then it's very different. This happened. One day Shankaran Pillai met an old college friend, and that friend had gone seriously into these kind of things. So he met him and they were there and this guy pulled out his stuff and started rolling. Shankaran Pillai said, why are you doing all this? He said, no, you don't know, you just smoke and you will fly, man. He said, no, I don't smoke, I'm fine. But friend, friends, so he also did little. Then he was walking home, little flying but still feet on the ground. Then he saw on the street, a man was completely mangled, hit by some car and gone hit and run. He was in a bad condition. That man called out and said, please call me an ambulance, call me an ambulance. Shankaran Pillai looked like this. He did. He said, please call me an ambulance. If you insist. Hello, Mr. Ambulance. So what should come from within, you take it from outside, this what happens. It once happened, this was in another life. Shankaran Pillai decided to commit suicide because of the domestic situation. And he drank poison and he was on deathbed. And he had written a will. The lawyers came and opened the will. He was still not going because the poison sometimes, is slow depending on what kind of stuff you had. So the lawyer read the will and said everything that he has, his home, his wealth, his bank balance, everything is to his wife, under the condition that within 3 months after his death, she must remarry, otherwise she won't get anything. Lawyer said, this is a very strange will, why is this like this? Shankaran Pillai said, I want at least one person to regret that I died. Or maybe you think you're a Kriya Yogi, but if you do Kapalabhati, it'll come like this. But you want to do Kriya Yoga, you only with energy, you'll shoot up. No, if you want to shoot up, you need lots of energy. Have you seen a rocket? You know, a spacecraft, a rocket? Before it flies, the amount of energy it releases, enormous. With that, probably you can run 1,000 airplanes, all right? From here to wherever. But it just stands there and exhausts so much power. Because it wants to go very far, it's built up that kind of energy. So if you want to do Kriya and go somewhere, only Kriya and go somewhere, then you need that kind of energy. If you want to do only incisive jnana, then you need a razor-sharp mind. But the easiest thing to cultivate for you is your emotion, because already you're getting frustrated, so you have emotion. The very fact that you're getting frustrated, you have emotion. It's only the emotion which makes you feel wonderful this moment, next moment horrible, next moment wonderful, next moment horrible. If this is happening, you must understand emotion is the most dominant factor of your life. With the mind, if you want to take yourself down, that also takes time. If you want to think yourself down, it'll take a lot of time. If you want to think yourself up, that also takes a lot of time. But emotion is not like that, it's a sappy liquid, it sloshes. Buchuk, it'll go up there, buchuk, it'll go down here. So now we're trying to teach you how to stabilize, so don't get frustrated because it'll go maybe little more heat we must turn up on you.